Yo, the other day I put up a video titled CrossFit is dead. And then within the context of that video, it was basically that CrossFit, the company that we all hold near and dear, is just that. It's more of a company now than it is a belief system. When you no longer have the beliefs at the top of the freaking pyramid, everything underneath the pyramid doesn't really know what it is you're going to. That, and that company isn't putting out anything for us to follow along with. The well is going to go dry. You see that in the video that I put up, and today I'm going to do a follow-up on that. If you follow along on Twitter, you'll know that I'm putting up ideas. The more interaction those things get, the more likely I am to make a video. And this one got 3,000 views and 17 likes. So that's one of the best ones I've gotten. I have to make a follow-up. And the way that I wanted to do so is I'm going to go deeper into what this looks like in the CrossFit sphere and even amongst a handful of others. So at the end of this video, I am going to plug in an entire spreadsheet that I put together on this topic. Essentially, there is a website called Social Blade. Some of you may have heard of it. I'm going to guess that many of you have not. That website basically tells you how healthy and what your YouTube channel looks like. I think it does it for other social platforms too, but the one we're talking about today is YouTube. And on the first video, I speculated, and in this video, I'm going to give you concrete evidence as to what I was talking about in that video. The way we're going to be doing it is we're going to look at the total number of subscribers with a handful of different channels, both within and outside of the CrossFit ecosystem, and then we're going to look at a projection thing that the Social Blade website has. It tells you how many subscribers you're projected to have at this point, this point, this point. It does so based off of what you're doing, what it thinks the potential is for your niche, and I have a little bit of insight in this through my own channel because I've paid attention to Social Blade, so I know that it's actually rather accurate. Let's do my channel first. So right now I've got 21,000 subscribers. Thank you everybody for subscribing. I don't thank people very often for that, but thanks for listening to the crap I have to say. I'll try to keep it worth listening to. This one's good. I'm at 21,000. In 1 year, Social Blade projects that I'm going to have 33,000. It does that based upon how everything's going right now. So I'm putting on about 500 a month, maybe upwards of 700 if you kind of extrapolate that over the course of the next year. 33,000 is going to be where I sit in December of 2023. At one point in time, it said that at the end of this current year, I would have 48,000. Of course, there was a really big come up, and Social Blade saw that. They're like, holy shit, he's throwing on upwards of 2,000 subscribers a month, and it now is adjusting that. So it does pay attention to the health of your channel rather closely. So mine has adjusted. I didn't hit that 48,000 that it thought I would. But also in now 5 years, I'm projected to hit 82,000 subscribers. Remember, my goal is to hit 100,000. Part of my frustration in that is that I don't even think that there's 100,000 people who indulge in CrossFit content anymore. When you go and look at the CrossFit games where it's got however many hundreds of thousands of views, I bet that that's people like me who go on there 20 or 30 times a pop, and then even in the future you just keep on going on over and over and over again. They need to get new eyes into that stuff. So 82,000 is where it sees me. I also have this broken down into percentages. So in 1 year I'm going to add 57% to my following, and in now 5 years I'm going to add 291% to my following. That is if I continue on the trajectory that I've been following right now. And also I did my channel first because I can give you some insight how it does adapt and adjust. And it isn't just like, oh, this is where they're at now, this is where they're at the beginning of their channel. It's constantly reorganizing itself. Now let's go look at the CrossFit YouTube channel. 1.71 million followers. In 1 year it's projected to have 1.75 million followers. That is an increase of 2%. Remember, the increase on my personal channel is 57%. This isn't really apples to oranges, but 2% is a fucking terrible number. It's so freaking bad. I told them that I could help them. I'm just doing another video so that they can see. If there's no one over there who's looking at this sort of a statistic and trying to say, how can we make this thing better? What do we need to do? Then they are really, really screwed. I don't know. It's 101. Look at the statistics, see where you want to be. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Well, in 5 years, you're only going to add 16% to your following. You're not even going to breach the 2 million mark. You've been at 1.7 for how long? What have you been doing to try to get up to 10 million or 100 million subscribers? Daniel Shafee the other day on the CrossFit podcast says he wants to have a CrossFitter at every dinner table across the globe. Yeah, 2 million in 5 years, you're really gonna do that. I hear what he's saying. He's awesome. Don't get me wrong. I really, really liked everything that those two were saying in that podcast, which only 1,800 people saw on the CrossFit homepage YouTube channel. I would like a CrossFitter to be at every dinner table. 4 people at the dinner table, one of them's a CrossFitter, that'd be sick. 25% of the population at which rate, right? And let's just say even it's 10%. Mr. Beast the other day put up something where it said 1% of the population has seen his videos, and his videos get 1 million views a video. So if you're trying to hit 25,000, you would need to get upwards of 500 million views per video for that to kind of work out. You see what I'm doing here? You see how this makes sense? In relation to what Daniel Chafee said, in relation to the growth, they're completely fucked. And we're seeing it at the level of channels like mine. I'm growing at 57%. Imagine if his channel was growing at 57%, which we will get into later, but next I'm going to go into the CrossFit Games channel. It's at basically 800,000 subscribers. At the end of the next year, it'll be at 957,000, which is a growth of 20%, which is much better than the CrossFit main channel. In 5 years, it's going to go up by 133%, and it will hit 1.86 million subscribers, which is better, but it's still nowhere near what you would need to get 500 million views per video. And maybe it's a 10-year or 20-year plan, but if it is indeed that plan, I don't see anything that you're fucking doing to make that happen either. Again, you have my freaking email address. I'll do more of this for you. I'm also going to give you the Sevan podcast. So right now he's at 20,000 in the end of the year, 30,200 next year. Again, that is not this year, not January, not in 1 month, in 1 year, 12 months time, which is a pickup of 51%. So I beat him by 6% right there. And in 5 years, there will be an increase of 255%. So we're rather close to one another. My increase was 291%. His is 255%. He'll hit 71,000 unless something changes. Again, this thing can change. It adapts to the way things are going. I really think that the more people that get engaged on that channel, he should be getting more than me. But if he does well and I do well, but the whole thing is that CrossFit needs to do well in order for channels that like ours to do well. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. What's good for him is good for me. But now, while we're talking about these people, I would like to bring up Talking Elite Fitness, a channel that has currently 30.8 thousand subscribers. In 1 year's time, it's projected to have 33.7 thousand subscribers, a pickup of 9%. Remember, I was at 57, Sevan was at 51%. They're at 9% pickup. 56% in 5 years. So in 1 year's time, we will supposedly add in 5 years, that being 56%, or they will be at 48,000 subscribers. That's because they're really not adapting. They're really not changing. They're doing stuff like emoji drafts where they should be using the tools that they've got at their disposal to get more people in to view the stuff that they're talking about. They should be working amongst Sevan and I, not pushing us away. Made an entire video on that. They've been better since. A channel following a similar trajectory, which really sucks, is Trading Think Tank. Right now they're at 37.2 thousand. In 1 year, it says that they'll be at 40.6 thousand subscribers, a pickup of 9%, which matches the Talking Elite Fitness pickup. 5 years, they'll be at 57.8 thousand subscribers, which is 10,000 more than Talking Elite Fitness, and that is a pickup of 55% in that 5-year span. I say it sucks because everything they put out is so freaking good. You listen to it and you'll never felt like you wasted your time. You actually learned something. And now that we're done talking about things where you can learn things, let's talk about the giants in the CrossFit ecosystem. We're talking Hard Work Pays Off, Tia Toomey, and CrossFit Mayhem. Hard Work Pays Off is currently at 245,000. Tia Toomey is at 214,000. Hard Work Pays Off is going to end up the end of next year, 277 to Tia Toomey's 248,000. 13% for Matt, 16% for Tia. So they're following a very similar trajectory. And then in 5 years' time, Tia Toomey is going to be at 390,000 subscribers, a pickup of 82%. Hard Work Pays Off will be at 67% additional at 409,000 subscribers. I have a feeling that they're kind of hitting the glass ceiling of what is totally possible in the CrossFit space. Maybe even potentially pulling in a couple of people outside of the CrossFit ecosystem, which is good for the sport of CrossFit. They should really be trying to pump up those two channels, that being CrossFit, because when you pump up those people and you get more eyes into those people on what they're doing or where they came from, it's good for everybody again. But also, that pales in comparison to the 5-year pickup of channels like myself and Sevan if we just continue trucking down the path that we are. We are 6 times as popular. Go us! One other thing that's cool about this, HWPO, 409,000 subscribers in 5 years. CrossFit Mayhem is projected to have 404,000 subscribers. So in 5 years' time, Matt Frazier will finally beat Rich Froning in something. You like that? Before we exit the CrossFit ecosystem, we got to talk about Craig Ritchie. He's at 340,000 subscribers, which is higher than any other channel that has been affiliated with CrossFit in the past, to my knowledge, with the exception, of course, the Giants being the main channels that are doing absolutely dog shit to keep up. Craig Ritchie, at the end of the year, 352,000 subscribers, and at the end of 5 years, 416,000 subscribers, which is a pickup of 3 and 22%. And if you followed what I've had to been saying, he no longer does anything that got him to where he's going to go. YouTube 101 again is that you look at the videos in the past that have done the best for you and you make more of those videos, because if you don't make those videos, the people that you've got there, they're going to get pissed off. They're like, I subscribed to watch this TV show. It's no longer the TV show that I subscribed for. I understand you don't like getting pigeonholed and sometimes you want to do something else, but by all means, go do fucking something else on a different channel. Or just keep doing what you're doing, and they call that the definition of madness, and that looks like apparently 400,000 subscribers in 5 years' time. Way better than yours, Andrew, 80,000. It's like, yeah, I'm going to open up another YouTube channel. Call me Nate Edwardson, which brings us to Nate Edwardson. Currently at 22,000 subscribers. In 1 year's time, 37.9 thousand in 5 years' time. Apparently 278,000 subscribers. Like I said, something that Social Blade does picks up on something that he's up to and thinks that whatever the fuck he's up to is going to lead to a 1,163% gain on his channel. Good for you, dude. Very, very cool. As you've seen in my last episode in relation to CrossFit being dead, Nate Edwardson opened up a golf channel. It's currently at 9,000 in basically his first 2 months of posting. The videos are getting upwards of 100,000 views. Not very many do worse than 30,000. Speculated that it's because he's in the golf world, which we're going to get to in a point, and it's so young even that there are no projections for where it's going to be going. But now we can look into what it's going to look like, you know, that waterfall trickling down. I talked about golf, and I did watch the Amanda Hari video saying golf has been around since like, what, 1400 or 1300, and that's true, and these are golf channels, and there are many more people out there who golf, but the thing that I'm going to bring up with these two golf channels is that there are two separate channels that these people have. Rick Shields has a main station, and he has a podcast station. It's like short form, long form, and they work off one another. They're synergistic. There's a channel called Good Good, and then they also have Good Good Labs, where they have like their buddies just going out and golfing. That's their Good Good channel. Their popular channel, they've got Good Good Labs, which is informative. Very much like what I just said with Craig Ritchie. It's like, if you want to do weightlifting, open up a freaking weightlifting channel. Go do your CrossFit stuff, and then also have weightlifting stuff. If you're so great at YouTubing, you can do both, which these guys have. Rick Shields has a main station with 2.43 million followers. In 1 year's time, it will be 2.9 million followers. One person doing one YouTube channel has and will have for all eternity, unless something drastic changes, more subscribers than the entity, organization, and juggernaut that we think to be CrossFit. They will pick up 20% of their total following in the next 1 year. CrossFit's going to pick up 2%. 5 years, Rick Shields is basically going to double his subscribers, and CrossFit will pick up 16% from where they're at right now. In relation to what they're doing, if you ask me, I'd rather be Nate Edwardson making videos on Rick Shields and what he's up to. But it's not just him, not just that guy, it's also the Good Good channel. 1.1 million on their main channel, along with a 1.9 projection in 1 year, and then basically 5 million in 5 years, which is a 354% gain in that 5-year period, which makes the CrossFit pickup of 16% look freaking ridiculous. Are you out of your mind? Andrew, you're making videos on this. It's like, yeah, I know, video a day for a year. What's next? Not freaking golf, I'll tell you that. I got ideas. I'm not going nowhere, but I got ideas. Maybe somewhere that actually freaking cares about the people who are trying to support them. That's where. CrossFit isn't it. They don't give a fuck about us. That's at least what it looks like. Reason that Rick Shields and Good Good have people who follow along and that people who watch the reactions that people like Nate Edwardson, who no one ever heard about, have to say is because you can tell that at the top, they still care about what they're saying. Rick Shields' long form podcast, basically 200,000 subs all the way up to 264,000 subs, which is a 36% gain on his sub channel where he's doing long form content. People don't like to listen to long form content, but they like to listen to Rick Shields because he believes in what he's saying. 182% gain in 5 years. So that channel is going to have 500,000 subscribers, bigger than any single freaking projection for any of the CrossFit channels that I just brought up. Craig Ritchie basically hit 200,000 in his first 2 years, and now he's just stuck in the mid mid 300s, and he will be for apparently the next 5 years because he doesn't do what got him there anymore. CrossFit isn't doing what got them to where they're at. And then if you want to go even further outside, I know we've talked about golf quite a bit, but I do follow More Plates, More Dates. I follow Greg Doucette. I've seen the explosion that is Greg Doucette, which is very cool. I was following him when he had like 20 or 30,000 subscribers. Now he's all the way up to 1.7 million, and in another year's time, he'll be at 2.1 million. In 5 years' time, he'll be at 3.7 million. Basically, in 5 years, he's going to double the amount of people that are hearing the things that he has to say. He covers general fitness. We have specific fitness, that being CrossFit. More Plates, More Dates, 1.6 million. In 1 year's time, 2.5 million. And then in 5 years' time, the guy who barely even makes videos anymore on YouTube, they're projecting him to be at 11.8 million subscribers. 611% gain in that amount of time. And it's probably because he's going on shows like Joe Rogan. And Social Blade, they know that sort of stuff too. It's like, what is this guy doing? He's collaborating with these people. He's going on these platforms. Breaking out of your mold is something that CrossFit isn't doing anymore, and they were doing really well in the Forging Elite Fitness days. I tried to make that video saying that Chris Bumstead was not as fit as David Hippensteel. They should lean into that because that really got him going in the initial phases. Now they're trying to make it all inclusive and good for everybody, and everybody should be inclusive because it is made for everybody. But also the product that you have yields fitness better than any other program, and you see it in instances like the Dave Hippensteels. And in the flip side, you see that the bodybuilding methodology will end up killing a lot of people who use and abuse the performance-enhancing drugs. The last thing that I want to talk about is Mr. Beast, the best YouTuber by all means. At least a lot of people think so. And you can see it in his numbers. He's got 124 million subscribers. I brought him up earlier in this, saying that people who view his videos make up 1% of the total population. In 1 year's time, it says that he'll be at 186 million subscribers, which is a 50% gain. And then in 5 years' time, he'll be at 839 million subscribers, which is essentially the goal of CrossFit. It would make a lot of sense for CrossFit to just like listen to the things he has to say. What is he doing that got him there? It's things such as saying, oh, I made a video on that. I should make more videos like that. If you want to have what looks like he's going to possibly have 1 in 4 people in the world watching his stuff, he's got a 577% projection in the next 5 years. Whoever is over at CrossFit might as well reach out to him and say, hey, we'll give you whatever amount of money you want, but I need your help on our media platform. I being CrossFit, not I being Andrew Hiller. I've read everything I can about that guy. And also, that's the reason that freaking Nate Edwardson puts faces on his thumbnails. I hope you found this informative, and at some point I hope to have put up the freaking entire table so that you can see it. Maybe I'll do it right now. Screenshot it. It's good to know if you've got your own YouTube channel. I tried to cover quite a few in the space. This video right here, by the way, I believe has more effort put into it than a single one of any other podcast, with the exception of the time that I know that Sevon puts into his work. Oh, and I know the Buttery Bros do a lot of editing and their stuff looks cool, so I know that those also take a long time. And now that I think about it, why the fuck didn't I make something on what they've got going? Maybe I'll do it in post-production. And Riller, out.